We'll start with Harrison.
Did during the bye week, when you guys looked back at things, was there any revelations, or was it basically what you guys expected, and how useful was that time?
Yeah, you always kind of have a base idea. You know, when you go into it, you just kind of want to confirm what your thoughts are and make sure you're not focusing on something that doesn't need to be focused on. But I think the biggest thing was looking at it from an individual standpoint also was better. When you had players, you can basically go down and do a self-scout, of course, on the scheme and what you're calling and things like that, but more of what is that player not seeing and put him in a better position. And understanding why, because like sometimes you'll watch it and one player be like, man, every time he's missed this, and you might look over it, but then there might be a reason that you saw when you self-scouted that one individual. So what we do is we go back through the notes, because every game, every player has a specific note, and we sorted and attacked those top 3 things, and we saw some things that can help us, you know, glaring. And also those players were excited because it's, you know, not many times once the season gets going, you get to sit down and have a one-on-one self, how do you get better, more than it is a large position meeting. So I thought that was really good and found some good stuff.
Brendan?
With that in mind, I guess what are some things you would like to see from the offense during this final stretch of the season?
Yeah, you know, we should be getting better as we keep playing. You want to play your best ball in November, you know, like everybody says. But the reality, we're starting to play together. We know who we are. We're established identity, what we're good at. So we got to kind of, you know, buy into that and keep climbing up as we go forward as far as continuity, playing with each other and states and things like that. So as they're starting to know each other and this offense is becoming its own offense this year, I think, you know, we went through it. You know, we've learned enough lessons to start seeing the not repetitive lessons being learned. So, you know, that's the challenge moving forward.
Chris?
For the offensive line unit, how beneficial is a bye at this point in the year, just because of how much they get banged up on a weekly basis? And also, what does that group have to do to take the next step as you close out this season?
Yeah, I mean, you get to take kind of a deep breath, but you know, playing O-line is contact every play. So, you know, if you play O-line, you're looking to be 100%. You're playing the wrong sport. I mean, it's not. You know, you're gonna be a little bit banged up. You're gonna be a little dinged. So I'm got them guys probably feeling better, but you know, tomorrow I'm gonna go. They're not gonna feel this better after practice tomorrow. You know, so we'll get back to work, and it kind of is what it is. But no, taking a deep breath and kind of relaxing a little bit, and for those guys to get off and then have a little bit of time was good. But you know, we're gonna get back to it tomorrow and be back sore.
Hassan?
Yeah, Coach, the first few games, Jordan, passed the ball really well, didn't run as much. Last few games, he's added his legs in. How big is that for him, and how big is that for the offense, for him to be that dual threat?
Credit, you know, some of the defense we played, 2 of us having to, you know, do that and utilize that. But now Jordan is a true dual threat quarterback. You know, when he pulls the ball, he's a threat. He's a dynamic athlete, as well as when he, you know, throwing the football and reading progression. So he's developed in himself where you can't just key on one part of his game, you know, because he's shown that he can beat you either way. So as he continues to get better and seeing it and learn the personnel around him, I'm excited to see kind of how he, you know, comes into this week and prepares and opportunity to play well.
Harry?
Coach Norvell was saying that one of the issues you guys have had in the red zone has been, you know, either penalty or, you know, misassignment at a crucial time. How do you get guys to ramp up their focus in those situations, but also still play free and not be too tight? Like, what's the balance there?
Yeah, that's one thing, you know, we stress, because when you get in the red zone, I mean, you have to do something to get there, and it's not always a big play. Sometimes it was 10 plays to get down there. And now, you know, defensive structure changing the red zone. Safeties are tighter. There's more high percentage pressure. There's high percentage movement, things like that. So the focus level has to almost refocus when you get in the red zone. So how do you create that? How do you put them in a situation where they feel that? Well, now you got to kind of probably work red zone at the end of practice. You know, you got to kind of put them in that mindset that they're in once they get in the red zone, and then, you know, go reaffirm it, because that can't be the first time they felt it. You know, like, for example, if we come out and we work, you know, red zone at the beginning of practice, probably they're not in that mind frame of they just ran 10 plays to get down there. The defense changes, so it's not like, hey, we can segment this and say, now we're in the red zone, defense tightens. So what we got to do a good job is on-field communication with each other. So that comes from the O-line talk to each other, receivers talk, hey, we're here now. Like, it can't be a coach presentation. Hey, we're down here now. These are the things that you got to have those kind of concise reminders on the field, whether it be the center talking to both sides, quarterback, hey, we're here now. Let's go back, let's refocus and know what we're going to get down there, what changes from leaving from the open field to now in the red zone. So I think, you know, being able to focus on that will help them.
We'll go back to Hassan over here.
as your wide receiver room has gotten more talent, it's gotten a little better, and you're getting some healthy players back as well, some key players. How do you manage a rotation during a game? Like, is it playing the hot hand or is it by packages? How do you go about that?
No, I mean, we're fortunate where we got big long receivers. When you're talking about Johnny, when you're talking about Malik, those guys that can go up and make plays. When you're talking about, it's just such a unique room because you got a little bit of everything. You got the tall, long, big receivers. You got Micah, the short, thick joker, and him and Ja'Kai, and you got, there's so many guys that you can kind of do so many things. But the good thing about it is they all know the position, so they can play the outside receiver, the inside receiver. You can move them around. So I don't say it's really particular. I mean, of course, with Johnny, he's a matchup problem. Just off raw talent and raw size. But overall, we don't have to change too much because of the ability that's in the room. Like whoever's out there can pretty much operate in what we need them to operate. But no, man, it is a fun room to game plan just because you do have so many weapons on the outside. But we don't have to say overall we have to match this person. I mean, they do a good job. That's why we've had, like in the past, different receivers show up in different times, not necessarily because of the game plan, but just because they might have, hey, we're going to take this guy out, now this guy got to step up, or, the coverage dictated and things like that, and we have full confidence in all those guys in there.
Brendan?
The package that you guys used against Clemson with Micah coming in motion, I guess what worked well about that? Is that something that you can build off, even if it's not that look, but just that skill set that Micah has?
Yeah, as Micah's being more comfortable in the offense, he's truly his first year in the offense. As he's starting to learn all of it, we can use him in different ways because now he can understand it in different concepts no matter where he's lined up. So whether he's in the backfield, inside receiver, we're starting him in outside, motion him in. Less chance of missed assignment because he's starting to learn the total picture when things break down. So as we play, you'll get to see more of that with us kind of interchanging because we don't want to make mistakes. So to be able to do that with a person, be able to line them up in different positions and move them in the backfield, they have to have a total understanding of what could happen and that position and how it's different than what they used to playing in every play of the offense. So as we continue to kind of with him and Trey, and kind of like those guys, like as we continue to learn and learn the what ifs of the offense, you'll be able to get to be more multiple with those guys.
Kurt?
Coach Norvell talked about there have been the ups and downs Georgia Tech's gone through, and through it all the defense has kind of been a constant for them. I guess what stands out from the film?
Yeah, Dak does a good job of adjusting his defense to personnel. They've done it. From bare to even to odd, and a little bit different last year. So what he does a good job of is identifying his good players and putting them in the best position as possible. They're big inside, and so he wants to utilize that. They can run on the edges. The corners have been playing really well. So it's all about him finding what his guys do best and coaching to their ability. That's why I think they do a good job on defense.
What's LT like as a person? I mean, we've seen him kind of evolve as a player over these last 2 or 3 years. What's he like in terms of his preparation and the approach he takes?
Yeah, LT's growth has been fun to watch because from when he first got here, he was a guy we only could do one thing with him. Hey, we're gonna do this one thing, that's it. And now you watch him, he's lined up on the outside, he's lined up on the inside. Like we talked about that development in the offense, once you start learning multiple spots. And also he's a guy, he loves practice. And whenever a guy like him who's a work hard, I mean, I'm sitting up there in the staff room watching film, and he comes up there and comes speak to everybody before he goes to watch tape. So what I love about him is he truly believes in the work paying off in the end. And his humbleness is unbelievable, man. Like just overall in that running back room, you would think there'd be some kind of how many carries and anything like that. No, man, them guys are good as gold when it comes to, what needs to be done, the work that's going on behind the scenes, and just he loves to practice. Like he gets upset with us when we kind of don't let him do a little something because we have to make sure he's good to go. But he's one that you always want to do well because of what the work he puts in behind the scenes. But the LT is as good as they come now.
Anything else? Aswan?
Mike's been pretty forthright about how he wants you guys as coaches to fulfill your dreams and aspirations. His coaching searches starts kind of heating up around the country, like your name is being attached maybe to a job over there. Is that something that's flattering for you, or something kind of awkward to handle as you're going through your day-to-day at your current job?
I wouldn't say it's awkward, because I'm a young gun in the business, so I've watched so many press conferences of people getting asked that question, and I used to be like, man, he lying, he ain't right. I used to judge it, and then when it's actually you, it's number one, it's flattering because if you go through Mike Norvell's history of his assistants, I mean, he's had a bunch of them go out there and do some great things. So it is flattering, it's all, I think it's a token to him of what he's done in developing his coaches and young coaches he had on his staff. But no, it's flattering, but it actually is just social media, so it's not really realistic or real. You know, it's just more of just noise, to be honest.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.